and welcome. We are going to walk through this angle addition postulate lesson. So I'm going to click start here and go through it as if I were a student. So the first thing that I can see as I'm moving these angles around is that it's like I can increase some of these numbers and some numbers change. I notice that if I have, let's say like one of them's 40 and the other one's 56, that those together make 96. To make that a little bit more obvious, you can actually click on these buttons to see them highlighted. Like I can see that the whole thing is 96, but that this piece is 40. So I can do some comparisons of the part and the whole. So I notice that there are two smaller angles and there is one larger angle when you combine them. I wonder, and this is where you would type a question, I wonder, like, how do I solve an equation with this? Or can I use negative numbers? Is there such thing as a negative angle? What about when I have a zero angle like that? So those are all good questions that could be asked. Okay, so I'm going to click share with class. I'll move on. Find measure of angle FEH. Now notice I can't change these numbers, but I see that FEG is 70, GEH is 62. FEH is the red, the whole thing. Okay, so the whole thing is when I add the two things together. So I could say 62 plus 70. And because Desmos is a calculator, it actually gives me a calculation in there that I can see. Now instead, I could have just typed 132, but I think it's actually good to type out a little bit of your work here to show how you're getting that calculation. Good work, I got the right answer. Next, find measure of JMK. Okay, so JMK is the purple one. That's that little piece there. Well, if I know the total is 88 and the green is 43, then I'm trying to find this purple one. Okay, so 43 plus something equals 88. Well, another way that I could write that as just one expression is 88 minus 43, which gives me 45. Good work. Excellent. Now let's look at this next one. It says 52 question mark. So I'm trying to find this missing piece there. And I have the other two pieces. The total is 126 and the other part that I know is 52. So I can take the total minus the 52 and that gives me 74. Good work. Excellent. These are super straightforward, kind of basic questions, but we're just trying to figure out how do I add or subtract what I'm given to find the pieces that are missing. Find the measure of WVY for the diagram on the left. When XVY is 29 degrees and WVX is 64 degrees. So WVY, that's the whole thing. That's all the way around like this. That means I'm going to put those two things together. 64 plus 29. And that gives me 93, which makes sense because a 90-degree angle is like a right angle corner, and it's about that. So that's good. All right, now let's find something. SRT. SRT, and I'll color this in red maybe, or let's do purple because purple's not used. SRT is just this angle that I'm coloring in that space there, that amount of rotation. The red, 85, goes all the way across. So that's the big one. 85 is SRU. SRU. That's the whole rotation. And then 45 is just that other little part. So to find the missing purple piece, I would do the total minus the part that I know, 45. So 85 minus 45 gives me 40. Awesome. Ooh, Now I got to do it, but I got to label it. All right, I'm looking for GFI. GFI is the total. So far we've been color coding the total as red. And these other two pieces are 41 and 64. So I'm going to put those numbers in here. I'll put 41, and I'm not going to do that in red. Let's change the color. Let's change the color to, I think we had purple. So now we're going to say 41, and then I'll make the other one a different color, maybe green, I think it was. And that one is 64. 64. So I got 41 and 64, but the thing that I don't know is the red one, which is the whole distance. I'll put a question mark. Question mark. We don't know how much the total rotation is. But I have a calculator here, and I can put those numbers together, 41 plus 64, and that's 105. Good work. Great. Okay, now let's see what's going on. We have find CAD. CAD looks like it's going to be this one here, because I'm going from CAD, and the enclosed rotation there is that one. And BAC, let's color that green. And that's a 31. So I'll put in there 31. And then BAD is the whole thing, the whole rotation, but purple and green put together. Again, I'll use red to mark that rotation. There we go. And the red rotation is 60. Okay, so my total is 60. One of my parts is 31. And the purple part is question mark. I don't know. So to find the question mark, I'm going to take the total, subtract the part that I do know, and I'll get a number there. All right, so we're about halfway through, but what you're going to start noticing at this level, as we approach more of a high school type level, is you're going to have sometimes numbers, but also sometimes algebraic expressions. So I first need to find the value of something by solving it in kind of an equation. Now, in all of these equations, we're going to have this kind of setup, and I'm actually going to pull this down, pull that over, and I'll put this one on the left, put this one on the right. And we can zoom over just a little bit. Awesome, that looks good. So what I see is that I have a 57 and a 5n for my two parts. So that's a 57, and then I have 5n. So 57 plus 5n on one side, and then the 77 represents the total. So that's going to be my total here. So I should be typing in an equation, 57 plus 5n equals 77. At this point, I could start solving the equation. So I could subtract 57 from both sides, and 57 positive and negative together make a 0. 77 minus 57 is 20. Now I can divide, click on the equal sign, and divide both sides by 5. That would give me that n equals 20 over 5, which happens to be 4. So I'm going to say n equals 4. Submit, and it'll tell me if I'm on track so far. So good work. That does equal 4. Now it's asking me to find the measure of YWZ, that green one. So I don't really care about the purple one. I care about this green one. Well, YWZ is 5n. So I'm going to just type 5n. If I know that n is 4, I can actually drag the 4 into that. But I'm really just doing the calculation 5 times 4, which is 20. Now I could have typed that here too. I could have said 5 times 4 and submitted it, and that would have still given me the same thing. So my answer was 20 degrees. Let's keep repeating with the same process. I'm going to refresh this screen so I can start over with my like 3 boxes. I have 96 degrees for the whole thing, and I have x for one purple and 2x for one for the green. That's a little bit different. So it's like I have x for one of the angles, and I have 2x for the other angle. And together, they're going to be the total, which is 96. I could solve this equation just like any other one. And then I'll take, I combined like terms, x and 2x makes 3x. Divide both sides by 3. I get 96 divided by 3, which is 32. So x is equal to 32. Click submit to double check. Yes, it's working. Now it's asking me to find KML. KML is this one here, the green, and that one is 2x. Well, that's just 2 times the value we found for x, so 2 times 32, or 64. And again, good work. We got it. Awesome. We're almost there. You guys are doing great as you follow along. We're going to keep following this pattern. I have a red one, which represents the entire angle. I have a green one, which represents one piece, and another one that represents the other piece. All right, so when I look at the purple and green, that's like my 2 parts. So I'll have y minus 8 for the purple, and y plus 10 for the green. And then in the end, I'm going to add our total to 102. Awesome. Okay, so I can move some things around. Like I could combine the 10 and minus 8. I could combine the y and the y. I get 2y plus 2 equals 102. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides to try and get that y closer to by itself. And then I'll divide by 2 on both sides to make a 1 here, and it just says y equals 100 over 2, or 50. All right, now let's submit that, double check. Awesome, looking good so far. ONP, okay, ONP is the purple one. So if I want to find the purple one, that's y minus 8, or 50, because that's our y value, minus 8, which makes it 42. Good work. PNQ is the other one, and that is 50 plus 10. And then we have 60. It says good work. So those would have been our correct numerical values in the calculations there. Okay, now let's say I didn't have magic things that kind of showed me which angles I was looking at, and I got to fill in the pieces. So when I look at this one and I see KLB equals Z minus 3. So I'm going to add in here KLB is Z minus 3. I'm going to write that in there. And then MLB is the other one over there. That one is 2Z. Okay, so my 2 angles are Z minus 3 and 2Z. And then together, they're going to equal 87. Let's color that red like we had been doing. So together, and we'll make this a red color, they equal 87. All right, so I'm going to start this over again. And if you're curious, how did you make that, Mr. Butler? I use these boxes. I put box plus box equals box. And then that allows me to quickly fill it in so I don't have to think about how to build it all at the same time. I could fill it in as I go. All right, so let's look at this piece. I do have the 2 pieces, which is 2Z and Z minus 3. I could put them in either order, so 2Z and Z minus 3. And together, they total to 87. Now I can start combining like terms. I could add 3 to both sides. If I click on equals and click add 3, then I have 3 times z equals 90. So I'm going to click equals and divide by 3 on both sides. And that gives me that z equals 30. So z equals 30. Double check it. Good work. Okay, so z equals 30. Now let's look at what we're trying to find in these calculations. KLB is z minus 3. So I'm going to say 30 for z minus 3. I'm going to take the number I found and plug it in for z. Awesome. The last one, MLB, is 2 times that number. Well, we found 30, so it's 2 times 30. Let's submit. Awesome. We're doing good. Doing really good. Click next. Another one. All right, let's see what we have. I'm going to do some color coding here. Let's figure out which one is the total one. IJK goes the whole way. So the total one is going to be this one right there. And so that is the total. That means I can use the other 2 equations for my 2 pieces. I would have 140 plus 2x. And over here, I'm going to have 2x plus 20. Because 140 plus 2x is the BJK. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Let's see if I can change these colors. Yes, I can. You can just highlight them, change the colors. So the blue ones act as the parts, and then the red is the full thing, which is 170. Let's refresh this page so it starts over. I have 2x plus 20. And then my second part is 140 plus 2x. And together, those make the total, which is 172. Now I have some combining like terms. 2x and 2x is going to make 4x. Now, if I click on the plus sign and drag it, we'll drag that whole term. That's kind of nice. So I have 4x plus 160 equals 172. Let's subtract 160 from both sides. That'll give me just 4x. And on the other side, I'll have 12. Now that I have a number times x, I can divide by that number. Click on the equal sign, then divide by 4. That will divide 4 on both sides. I get x equals 12 divided by 4, or x equals 3. So x equals 3. Let's double check it. Good work, yay. And just so you know, I am getting all the right answers here, but let's say I put in a different number. Like if I had put 2 in and I click submit. Wrong answer, please try again. So I'll click submit there. Now I need to find BJK and IJB. Well, BJK is 140 plus 2 times x, and x is 3. It tells me that's 146. Similarly, IJB is 2 times 3 plus 20. Let's submit each of these and see if we get the good work, good work, good work. Good all the way through. Click next, go to this one. Let's preview what we have to finish. We have a little bit more complex, and I'm probably not going to worry about the last 2 screens. We'll review those at a later date, challenge 2 and challenge 3, but we at least want to get through challenge 1. All right, let's see which of these winds up being the total angle, the red part. So we have WIJ, that's this corner here, and HIJ, that's the total. So the 145 is going to wind up being the total. And that means that I have 10x for WIJ. So 10x in this corner. Let's make it a different color. It's not red. 10x. 10x, there we go. And then the other one, and it's kind of hard to squeeze it in there, but it's 2x plus 13. It's not easy for us to kind of rotate it to fit it in there. I'm going to go back to this top line and set up my two parts adding up to the total. My two parts are 10x and 2x plus 13. And together those total to 145. So I solve this. I'm going to do subtract 13 from both sides. So first I combine like terms, then I subtracted a constant. Now I'm going to divide by that coefficient in front of x to make that a 1 to get x by itself. And I'll get x equals 11. So x equals 11. Let's see if that's correct. It is. So we found x, and it's 11. Wij here is 10 times x, and x is 11. Good work. HIW is 2 times 11, because x is 11, plus 13. That's 35. Again, good work. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This is going to be our last screen here. This one has a lot of things going on, so let's see what we can put on there and how we can make sense of it. So we have angle 1 is 8x plus 15. 8x plus 15. All right. Angle 2 is 10x minus 7. So that's this second zone of rotation. To rotate from B over to C is that amount. 3 is 6x. Okay. And, ooh, this is interesting. AFD. So AFD, those three angles put together, let's use a red line. So the total thing is going to go across all three of those. Ooh, that's interesting. So I'm going to refresh this screen and show you how I could build something with 3 parts. I can click to create a new equation. I'll do box plus box plus box. I have 3 parts are going to total to one thing. All right, so the total, I'll fill that in first. That's the 128. For the 3 other boxes, I'm going to have 6x and 10x minus 7 and 8x plus 15. Ooh, we got a lot of stuff to combine and put together here. Now, another kind of nifty move, if you start pulling a term but it doesn't pull the whole thing and you want all of it, the keyboard button to press is Alt, A-L-T, and I always think of the phrase all of it because now I can grab more if I press that. It allows me to combine 6x and 10x. Let's say I wanted to combine the 16x and the 8x. And I have 24x plus 15 minus 7 equals 128. Let's combine those two by adding it together. Now I'm going to subtract 8 to get just x terms on one side and constants on the other. Lastly, I'm going to divide by that coefficient, which is 24 on both sides, and I get x on one side, and on the other side I get 5. Okay, 5 is the answer. Now, AFC is these two terms put together. So I'm going to have 8x plus 15 plus 10x minus 7. So that would be 8 times 5 plus 15. Now, if I were to submit that, that's not correct. That's only this first angle, but I want angles 1 and 2 put together. So I'm going to add on to it 10 times 5 minus 7. see the magic moment. Yay, we're done. Good work. We got it all. This is the amount of work that I want to see from you all. Thank you for watching the video as we go through. And hopefully we can review and answer some more of those challenge questions when I get back.